Oh boy, it's the biggest meme in the book. And I feel like this hasn't necessarily been a big meme recently, like in the past year or 2 years, but if you go back far enough, there was a timeline in the Montreal Canadiens history books that this topic was memeable about. And I wanted to dive into it here because it was talked about on certain radio segments in Montreal. So I'm going to leave a link in the description to this piece posted on HabsFanatics.com talking about the idea of the Montreal Canadiens trading up in the 2025 draft. This article was published by Elias Adam from yesterday as an analyst on the radio floats a trade idea that would see the Canadiens land the 3rd overall pick from Chicago. Now, this was talked about because Simon the Snake Boisvert went out there and spoke about this idea, responding to what Matthias Brunet said during a Patreon-exclusive episode of Processes. A concrete trade offer between the Canadiens and the Blackhawks that would be accepted by the Snake, quote-unquote. The journalist proposed to his co-host that the Canadiens trade their 2 first-round picks along with 2 second-round picks in exchange for the 3rd overall pick held by the Chicago Blackhawks. If Boisvert was in Kent Hughes' shoes, he would do it in a heartbeat. The trade would look like this. To Montreal, the 3rd overall pick, and to Chicago, the 16th, the 17th, and 2 second-round picks on top of that. Oh my goodness. What a lopsided trade offer, isn't it? The article says here it's worth noting that the young Quebec forward, Caleb Desnoyers, is the top draft prospect from Quebec since Alexis Lafreniere in 2020. Desnoyers was named the MVP of the QMJHL playoffs and led the Wildcats to the Gilles Courteau Trophy with the championship win over the Rimouski Oceanic. So, I wanted to respond to this idea here, because I think, from my personal perspective here, the Chicago Blackhawks are in a pretty interesting spot, because it's already been fairly reported that this team is somewhat intrigued in using the pick to draft yet another elite borderline franchise potential talent. They already got Connor Bedard in 2023. They grabbed Artyom Levshunov in 2024. And now there are a number of names that would be available to them in 2025 that certainly would be interesting and add on to that talented group of young players. There are a number of guys, between the aforementioned Desnoyers to the Michael Misas of the world. James Hagens is still available, Porter Martone if you wanted to go that route. There are a number of options that the Chicago Blackhawks have at their disposal, and it just doesn't seem right to me to think about them as a team that would be interested in giving that away for multiple guys in the middle of the first round and multiple guys in the second round. It just doesn't look proper in that respect, in my opinion. So, with that in mind, let's just dive into the Montreal Canadiens and the entire trade angle of it, what the cost could be, because as we had referred to in, I forget which video it was, I think it might have been the Utah Mammoth 4th overall video, or it might have been one of these other videos talking about the Habs trading into the top of the draft, something like that. I forgot which one it was specifically, but essentially, we had the cost of trading up in the 2025 draft revealed to us via a bunch of fancy graphs that were posted on Twitter. And that very well articulates just how much value the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd overall picks have compared to every other pick. Here's the graph. It was from puckpedia.com. You can see that the Montreal Canadiens' 2 first-round picks at 16th and 17th overall have about a pick value of, let's say, 22, 23 each. Let's say 23, just being nice here. 23 plus 23 is 46, plus 2 picks in the second round. Let's be nice again and say it's a rough, let's say 12 pick value percentage for 2 of those. 23 plus 23 plus 12 plus 12, so 46 plus 24, that's about 70. 70 is roughly the range of maybe the 5th or the 6th overall pick. I don't know, that's just kind of how I'm viewing it based off of the graph that we're looking at. But I don't necessarily know if the Chicago Blackhawks would be like, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's grab 2 middle first rounds and 2 seconds for the 3rd overall pick. I guess mathematically you can stretch it to say, yeah, but look, it's close enough on the graph that it could probably work. I just don't know if the Chicago Blackhawks would be into that. I know they have a lot of prospects and young guys that they have developed and that have made impacts on the team, and there are still more guys who have more to give. Oliver Moore can be better, Frank Nazar can be better, Kirby Dach's younger brother can be better, Alex Vlasic, for as good as he was, he can be better. So, I don't know if they need necessarily more of those players in that caliber of guy. Instead of just taking, okay, let's just take the easy pick, Michael Misa, 3rd overall, come over here and work your magic with Bedard, it'll be Kane and Taves 2.0. Furthermore, I think for the Montreal Canadiens, this entire Caleb Desnoyers thing, I think that's kind of a conversation for another day. I just wanted to meme about the fact that the Montreal Canadiens, if they go down a path where they end up getting the 3rd overall pick, I honestly would be a little bit worried because the Montreal Canadiens haven't had the best record of 3rd overall guys in their system. Between drafting Alex Galchenyuk and Jesperi Kotkaniemi 3rd overall, to acquiring Kirby Dach and Jonathan Drouin, who both happen to be 3rd overall picks too. Look, I get it. Jonathan Drouin had one good season in Montreal. One amazing season in Montreal. Galchenyuk was a 30-goal scorer. We can't take that away from him, right? But then you think about some of the other guys, like, okay, Kotkaniemi, Kirby Dach, like, all of the 3rd overall guys who suit up on the Montreal Canadiens kind of stink at some point or another, and I'm kind of thinking, like, it's not the most guaranteed thing that whomever is given to Montreal in the 3rd overall spot is going to be good. I don't know, maybe I'm just really, really traumatized by Galchenyuk and Drouin, and I mean, there are some 3rd overall picks that are great. Leon Draisaitl, he's fine. Pierre-Luc Dubois, okay, kind of up and down there on Dubois, but you get the point. He would have been a Montreal Canadien too. If some things in the prior years just went a little bit differently, he would have been yet another 3rd overall pick trying to make an impact on this Canadiens team. Never mind the fact that Michael Misa or Hagens or Roger McQueen or whomever, they're all probably going to be good players. I just gotta worry whether or not the Montreal Canadiens would be getting the best out of the 3rd overall guy, because past years worth of hockey tell me that it's not really guaranteed. So, I don't know, you can let me know your thoughts in the comments section below, whether or not you think this is actually worth it for the Habs to explore. Do you think a trade for the 3rd overall pick is actually worth it here? Do you think the Montreal Canadiens should explore this? Do you think it actually works out? What are your thoughts on the Canadiens potentially making a trade with Chicago? And would the Blackhawks accept some sort of a move like this? 3rd overall for 16th and 17th overall, as well as 2 second-round picks. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on, and bye.